So you're looking for more information about how to use Microsoft Ads? Well, in this video, I'm going to be teaching you step by step exactly how you can set up your first Microsoft Ads campaign. All right, so you definitely want to stick with me all the way through this video so you don't miss anything. Now, my name is Rakeem Madison, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Also, tick that bell icon if you want to learn how to build a long, sustainable business that will give you the freedom you deserve. All right, so with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and minimize my camera and we're gonna jump right into today's content. All right, so first things first, as you can see, this probably looks different if you've been looking at Bing ads when it was called Bing ads and so on and so on. As you can see, it looks quite different, right? So we're gonna go over a little bit over the interface. I'm gonna show you how to set up the ads step by step. But one thing I want you to understand, and this is actually gonna help you save a lot more money, especially when you're advertising on Bing, right? So I put together a little mini cheat sheet. You're gonna see how simple this is, all right? All right, so here we go. So the first thing is a high CTR, which is a click-through rate. So I'm gonna break down pretty much how all this works. So you got your high CTR, which typically leads to a high average position, right? So if you got a high click-through rate and people are clicking through your ad, Bing is gonna show it to more and more people because your CTR is up. But over time, let's say for instance, you got people coming to your website and people are leaving quickly, that'll start to actually go down, right? But typically you got high CTR, high average position, high impressions, high clicks, and all of that actually equals a low CPC, which will actually allow you to pay way less when you're advertising your business. All right, now let's go on the flip side. So you got low CTR typically equals low average position, also low impressions, which means it's not getting seen by a lot of people because Bing is like, okay, well, this has an extremely low CTR. We don't need to continuously push this out that far, right? And so that could hurt you, which in the end could actually have you having a higher CPC, which is, as you can see right here, low CTR, low average position, low impressions, low clicks equals high CPC. Right? So literally just this right here can save you money. Of course, you're going to do your optimizing and all that other stuff that takes, goes throughout that process. But understanding this will help you to understand, okay, I got a high CTR. Okay, when people go to my web page, people are actually opting in. And this is where you get a little bit more into the advanced Bing ads. I just want to, in this video, show you how to set one up. And I'll continue to put out more and more videos, especially going over it now since it's actually called Microsoft Ads now rather than Bing. I'm just so used to saying Bing, all right? So enough of me talking. Let's actually get into the actual interface. All right, so this is what it looks like as of today, okay? A few months ago, it didn't look like this. It was still using the same interface that they had, but I think this looks a lot more... in my opinion, I think it looks a little bit better, right? That's my opinion. Some people don't like it, but let's get into it. All right, so as you can see in the year of 2020, which is this year, right? You can see I've spent about $21,000 on advertising. So that just lets you know that, I'm actually using this platform, right? So it's actually somebody who's getting results. And I wouldn't be spending that amount of income if it wasn't working for me, all right? All right, so let's get to it. So how are you actually going to set up a campaign? All right, so the first thing you're going to do, as you can see over here, you got your overview, you got your campaigns, you got your settings, and you got your change history, right? Now, there's a lot of different other things such as like tools and etc. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into actually setting up a campaign. All right, so I'm going to click over here on campaigns. All right, and then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on create campaign. All right, so now when you get to this page, you're going to see a bunch of different objectives, right? So you got visits to my website, visits to my business location, right? So if you got like a brick or mortar business or something like that, right? If you want to focus more on conversions such as leads, such as purchases, maybe you're doing e-commerce or, something like that, right? And you want to focus, really key in on conversions, this is what you would pick. And then of course you would have to actually set up your conversion tracking pixel. All right, and then this is phone calls to your business, app installs if you got an app, dynamic search ads, sales products from your catalog, right? And those are the objectives. But the one that we're going to focus on here in this video is visits to my website. So I'm going to go ahead and click on visits to my website. And then you can see right here, it gives you two different options. You got search ads and you got audience ads. So just to kind of give you an idea of what an audience ad is, if you've ever been on MSN.com or Yahoo.com, and you'll see like, regular articles, but within those articles or like, either under it or above it, you'll see sometimes it'll be something that says like an ad. So basically it's like blending in with all the different articles. So sometimes you may click it and you may not even know that it's an ad. Right? So that's kind of how audience ads work, and it's on many other networks as well. But I just felt like, MSN, everybody can pretty much relate with MSN or Yahoo or something like that, right? So one we're going to focus on though is the search ads. So I'm gonna go ahead and click search ads, and then I'm gonna hit next. All right, so give it a minute. All right, so here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and name our campaign. So for this video, I'm just going to say test, and we're going to put Bing. All right. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. I'm not going to worry about this right here. All right, you can use campaigns from another setting, but if this is kind of newer to you, maybe you don't already have, like a process for actually, setting up Bing Ads campaign or Microsoft Ads campaign. All right, so the next step is to go ahead and pick your budget, right? So what do you want to spend per day? Do you want to spend $5 per day, $10 per day, 15, 20, 200, right? It's really up to you on, what do you feel that you can handle? And I feel as if you're going to do this, you really have to get a hold on who it is that you're going to actually be positioning your message or your product in front of, all right? All right, so we're just going to leave it at $20 per day. All right, then we're going to go ahead and scroll down. Now, you can see it says location. That's the next thing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just put let me choose specific locations, and then I'm just going to put United States. Boom. So I hit enter, and then it says target or exclude. So if I wanted to target it, I could target it. And if I didn't want to target anybody in the US, I could just hit exclude. But I'm just going to hit target. And then boom, there it is right there. And then you see it highlights it on the map. Let me actually back this out a little bit. All right, so there we go. So you can see it maps it all out over here. And if I wanted to go like all tier 1 countries, right? Let's say I wanted to go United Kingdom. What is that? Australia and what is it? New Zealand, right? Pretty much all the tier 1 countries, typically the countries that actually, tend to have a lot more money when it comes to like, promoting your products and different things like that. All right. All right. So boom. So we got United Kingdom. I'm gonna go ahead and target that. And then we're gonna continue to scroll down. Now you see this section right here where it says who. Now, what you want is you want the people that are in your targeted location. Now, there will be times where, it'll be okay for you to do people searching for or viewing pages about your targeted locations. That means that they're not actually in the location that you're targeting. They're just searching for the location, right? They could be somewhere completely different. So what I do when I set my ads up, I turn that off and I only go with people that are in the targeted location in which I'm trying to target. All right, so now next thing I'm gonna go to language. So for me, it's always gonna be English speaking. So I just typically, leave that how it is. And then I hit save and go to next step. All right, so as you can see, the next thing is the ad groups and the keywords. So the first thing they ask you for here is your website, right? So you don't necessarily have to put your website in right now. You really don't. You could actually put that in later when you're actually creating your ad. I'll leave that up to you. But now you could just click my website is not ready. All up to you. All right, so now I'm just going to name my ad group name. I'm just going to put test Bing once again, and then now this is where we enter our keywords. Now typically how I do it is I'll go to Bing, right? So I'll go to Bing, and by going to Bing.com, right, not the actual advertising part, but Bing.com, because I want to know what's being suggested on Bing itself. I use Google as well, but sometimes you'll see different keywords popping up. So like, let's say for instance, I was trying to target people who were looking for Forex trading signals, right? Let's just take that for example. So we can see right here, right? This gets 4,400 searches every single month, okay? So what I could do, right, let's say if I wanted to target people who were looking for that, I could literally just say, okay, let's go ahead and put this right here just like this, and boom, I got a keyword in there, right? So I'm just gonna use that, and I'll just put Forex trading in there, and maybe Forex, matter of fact, we'll just leave those two. All right, so boom, we got these two in there, right? So that's what we're gonna be targeting. And then from here, I'm gonna scroll down, and you can see here on the right, they give you like ad group and keyword ideas. But I typically don't use the keywords over here because I like to do my keyword research, because I typically, when I advertise, I always come from angles, right? And so sometimes the keywords over here may not be too relevant to the angle that I'm trying to take. So I feel like, hey, I always do my own research, and I have my certain ways of actually doing it, all right? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down. And then you could also add, like another ad group. So if you want to add a different set of keywords, so like I'll give you an example. So like if let's say for instance I'm promoting like a ClickBank product, and it's a weight loss product, and maybe it's some supplements. I may like name one of my ad groups buying keywords. Then I'll name another one of my ad groups more like broad, right? This will be like a broad basis for the entire topic. And then I'll split it up like that. And the reason that I do that is so that, when I get into optimizing like my campaigns, like, okay, who's more involved? Is it females or is it males? And then when I start to dial in on all of those different, statistics that I'm getting and the data that I'm getting, then I can really laser in and put more money behind what's actually working, right? And when it comes to Bing, optimization is so key. Really, YouTube ads, any of these platforms, when you understand how to take the data that you have and then use that data to optimize, you can literally key in and start to make tons and tons of sales, all right? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. We're just gonna leave that one for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit save and go to next step. All right, so this is the step where we're actually going to create our ad. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click create ad. All right, so now you can see it says ad type. All right, so you can do an expanded text ad, an app install ad, or responsive search ad. Anytime I do it, I always stay with expanded text ad. All right, so the first thing they ask you for is your final URL. But for this case, I'm just going to put www.google.com. All right, so that's what I'm going to use. And then I'm just going to scroll down, and I'm going to just do the whole test Bing high conversion. There we go. High conversion campaign. All right, so boom. So we got test Bing high conversion. I'm just going to kind of go through this. Test Bing high, and I won't even do a title part 3. So the title part 3 would be the like the third headline. So like you can see right here, test Bing high conversion, that's the first one. And you can see I got about like 5 characters left. Now the second one, boom, you see how that looks. Now if I did have a third one, you would see it pop up over here. But sometimes when you're actually advertising, you on Bing, or like if you're doing your searches, sometimes you'll see that the third title won't always show up. Now if you're at the top, then 9 times out of 10 it's actually going to show up, right? So keep in mind that that doesn't always show up throughout the different places that Bing actually puts you. All right, so I'm gonna leave that without that. All right, now this I mess with this sometimes. This is basically just adding a path onto it. So let's say for instance I'm doing like some type of discount or something like that, right? I may say discount pricing, right? And I used to do this a lot when I was promoting like Motor Club of America, I would always use like discount pricing. And so it'll literally have your domain and then it'll have the discount pricing at the end, right? So this is just to kind of give you an idea of some different things that you could actually do. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down. Now, this is where we get to the ad text. Now, when it comes to the ad text, in the first portion of the ad text, what you want to do is you want to give people what they're actually going to be getting once they actually click the link. Okay, now the second ad text is going to be where you give your call to action. So what do I mean? So let's say, for instance, since we put Forex, we could say learn directly from the experts, right? I know that's a lame ad, right? But let's just roll with that for now, right? So learn directly from the experts how to become a profitable trader. All right, so boom. All right, I spelled that all wrong. Profitable trader. All right, so there we go. Boom. So we got our ad text, right? That's more like the meat. That's what we want people to see initially, but we also want them to take action, right? So what I'll do for the second text is I'll put act fast before it's too late. Or I may put something like click here to learn how to become a profitable trader, because boom, we got the meat, boom, we giving the call to action, all right? So boom, I'll put act fast before it's too late. And if you try like to use this on like Google Ads, yeah, they're not gonna let you put that too late, or they don't like limited time and different things like that, right? So it just varies on which platform you decide to actually do this on. All right, so now we're gonna continue scrolling down. Let's make sure we got something for what we need. Okay, so boom, we got that, and then boom, I'm just gonna do the same thing. And you don't have to put anything in the mobile URL, that's up to you. But I'm just going to do it just for this video purposes. All right, so boom. So we got the mobile URL, we got the final URL, and then you can see down here, this is like add URL options. So some time ago, I used to actually use this section to do like direct linking. So like if I was doing like a ClickBank campaign or something like that, I would come down here and I would actually put the link, and then I would add like a keyword query, a keyword query, or like a creative query or something along those lines to track like when people are actually clicking on my ad. I want to know like which keyword did they actually come from? Which ad group did this actually come from? So then I can start getting into the optimization process, right? And this is where your campaigns, you start to spend a lot less, and you start to notice, okay, you're getting a lot more consistent leads, a lot more consistent sales, right? So that's when it actually gets exciting. When you really get into that optimization and everything starts to flow well, that's where the money is, okay? All right, so let's actually scroll down. We're not gonna use that right now. Let's go ahead and move that out. All right, so now we're gonna hit save. All right, so you can see I got my ad right here. Now, typically what I do is I make at least it really depends. I'll make like two. So I'll hit copy, and then I'll change one, or I try to change one thing to make something different from the other ad. So then I can see, okay, which one is working better, right? Marketing is really all about testing, right? Doing your split test, seeing what works, and then looking at what works and then putting more behind what works, okay? All right, so let's actually scroll down even further. So now these are ad extensions. So you can see I had some, like I said, I was talking about Motor Club of America. You can see I had this site link extension, another site link extension. You can see I had a couple different site link extensions that I was using when I was actually promoting that, all right? Now you got action extensions, call out extensions, right? So you can see I got some of those. This is when I was promoting a tinnitus offer, and I'm actually still promoting that, and that's actually been doing pretty well. So let's scroll down. Promotion extensions. You got price extensions, structured extensions. Basically all extensions is another way to give you more real estate, right? And these don't always show up. The extensions will show up if you're at the top of the page. Like if your ad is at the top, you know how like if you're on Bing or even if you're on Google, you'll notice like the ads, some of the ads are not just like this small section, they take up like this big section, right? So let me actually show you what I mean. So over here, right? So you can see this right here is not an ad, but if you've ever seen an ad take up this amount of area, like these would be considered like site link extensions. This is not actually this is an ad, sorry. So yeah, these would be considered like site link extensions right here. So it makes the ad, it takes up a lot more real estate for the ad, all right? All right, so I'm gonna go back over here and then now we got everything we need for this page. So now I'm gonna go ahead and hit save and go to next step. It says, please remove duplicate ads. Sorry about that. Let me actually change that one thing that I was talking about. Boom. So there we go. So now we should be good to go. So let me actually scroll back down and boom. So now they take you back and they take you to the budget and bids. So now you still gonna roll with the $20 a day? Yes, I'm gonna roll with the $20 a day. Now, the next thing is something that I do. I don't usually use an enhanced CPC. I like to use manual, right? I want to be in control of what's going on. But from time to time, I do test different ones. But the one that has worked, the best for me has actually been the manual bid. Okay, so that's what I do. And then you can see right here, based for that particular ad group, $1 is estimated to give me at least 216 clicks and then 40,000 monthly impressions. Now, don't take these as the gospel, right? These are not always going to be this. It could be more than this or it could actually be less than this. And then sometimes if you got it too low, let me see if it'll actually do it. If you got it too low, it'll give you this little caution sign. And another thing, don't take that as the gospel as well, right? Because sometimes it'll show me this, and then when I look at the number is extremely low, but I ended up still, having a, not always a successful campaign, but I still be able to drive way more traffic than what they've actually told me here. So don't take this as the gospel, all right? All right, so now the next thing is campaign targets. So in the campaign targets, you can actually do like, let's say for instance, you want your ads to show up more in the US, right? Let's say I wanted to do that. I would increase this. I would put this, let's say for instance, I use like 50% or something like that. So it's gonna show up 50% more in that particular state. Or if I wanted to just divide them up, it would show 50 and 50. So it really just depends on what you wanna do. All right, so I'm gonna put that back to 0. All right, now we're gonna scroll down even more. So now let's say for instance, and I really wouldn't recommend this unless you just are like, you're keen in on your target audience and you know who it is that you're targeting and you know where they're coming from. I wouldn't mess with this when you first start your campaign because you want to see where everybody is coming from, right? That's why I use like tools like ClickMagick, so I can track like, okay, when a person, I want to see what a person typed in to actually find my ad, right? And that's when you really get into the advanced stuff. And so you can see, because optimization is going to be key for Bing ads. All right, so what you would basically do though is you would just play with the percentages here. Do you want it to be more on desktop? Do you want it to be shown more on tablet? Do you want it to be shown more on smartphone? This is all going to be up to you, all right? But I won't recommend until you actually get into the optimization phase. All right, so now advanced campaign settings. Now what this is basically like you setting your ad schedule. Me, I let my ads, whenever I run ads, I let the ads run. I don't set a schedule. I wouldn't do that unless of course you got like a brick and mortar business and you got like just location and maybe you're only open from like 9 to 5. Then I would just set up my ads to run, over that, that span of time. All right, so if we go down, we're gonna scroll down a little bit more. And you can see down here it says other settings, audience ads. All right, so this is what we're doing right now is a search ad, right? But what you can do is you can actually adjust the percentage to turn it into the ads, like, the ads that I was talking about earlier in the video where I was talking about like how the ads blend in on MSN and Yahoo and different things like that. You could actually adjust and turn this to play on the audience ads by turning this right here, putting this to 900. right? Literally put that to 900. That's the maximum, right? So if you look at the little question mark here, you'll see it says this goes from negative 100 to 900, right? So 900 is obviously going to be where you're expanding your audience even more on the audience network. All right, so that's that. Now let's go to ad distribution. Now this is another area where you can actually do split testing first to see what's actually working, but I usually just go straight to Bing, AOL, and Yahoo search only, owned and operated only. But if you want to test and you want to see if the other networks are going to benefit you more, because maybe they will, right? I'm not like, I mean, I don't always use it, but maybe they will benefit because you may have a completely different business than I do, and that the syndicated network may work better for you, right? So all I would say is, you know, if you're getting started, just go ahead and test it, see if it's working, and if it is, start using it more and more. And I would definitely highly recommend using a tool called ClickMagick. I've been using it for years. That's literally how I track my clicks. I set it up to where it tracks my conversions. I pretty much have it to where once I have the link going through, especially now because they have like the little campaigns thing. So I literally just take that one link, and as people are typing in, clicking on my ad, I can see all the data I need. Are they coming in on mobile? Are they coming in on desktop? What, you know, obviously their IP doesn't really matter too much to me. I mostly focus in on like, you know, like the keyword. That's the biggest thing for me. I want to know what keyword they typed in and which ad group they came on, because then I can really key and laser in on who it is that I'm trying to find. Okay, so that's pretty much that for the ad distribution. And then at this point, I hit save. And as you can see, it's loading up, so just give it a few moments. All right, so there it is. So there's the ad, and right now it is in a pending status. So this is what it would look like initially. Now you will, all you have to do is just go back, come back in here and then check to see if your ad is actually approved. And if you come in here and you actually see like the numbers going, then you know that you're good to go. Typically it takes, you know, 24 hours. At the most. If it does extend with everything that's going on right now, at the most probably 48 hours, but I really haven't seen it take more than 24 hours. All right, so hopefully you got some value from this video, and if you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Also drop me a comment down below letting me know if this was helpful or valuable. And also I put together a Bing ads playlist, right? I've created videos when it was called Bing, but as more new things come out, and now it's, you know, Microsoft ads, of course I'm going to have to put out more and more videos showing you guys different things. All right, so with that being said, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.